Welcome to Liminal Space, where we explore the thresholds of identity, culture, and experience. I am Susan Su, one half of the hosting duo. Along with my friend Matt, we've created this podcast for those who find themselves navigating the spaces in between, whether it's between cultures, worlds, or ideas. Each episode, we delve into the rich complexity of modern Chinese stories as told by those who exist at its peripheries, diaspora voices, third culture kids, and individuals who embody the bridge between China and the world and between tradition and innovation. Step into liminal space with us where we find meaning in the transitions, the gray areas, and the moments of becoming.
Today, we have the pleasure of welcoming Tina Zhao, a Shanghainese restaurateur, food marketing consultant, former celebrity chef, and advocate for female entrepreneurship, who spent most of her adult life in Melbourne. So Tina's journey bridges continents and cuisines and blends the creativity of the kitchen with the strategy of global business. Welcome, Tina. It's great to have you.
Welcome.
Hi, guys.
So excited for this.
So just off the bat, Tina, just really curious, kind of as someone who grew up in Shanghai, but also spent, over 10 years in Australia, what was it that brought you to make such a big life change and move to a different country?
So I was born and raised in Shanghai, and I moved to Melbourne when I was 17. The official reason I tell people is I try to explore more of the world, but the real reason was
Yeah.
I went to Melbourne to chase my first love. So yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, but it was lucky because I've got relatives living in Australia, and that's why my parents was actually, okay, if that's what you want to do, you should go. So my parents was being quite supportive at the time, not like most of the Chinese parents. So I feel quite lucky.
Wow. That's the lengths that people go to for love. Very romantic of you. So when we think about people around that age, like 17, 18, it seems like our value systems and our worldview, they're kind of already forming around that time. But, from what I know about you and our conversations, it seems like you're really someone who kind of internalized and opened yourself up to like the Australian culture and value system. So what was it like when you first got there? Like, was there a lot of culture shock, or were you kind of just like super open-minded the whole time?
Well, there were definitely a lot of culture shock, even though I think I was lucky enough that I actually studied in international school before I went to Australia. I thought my English level was okay, but definitely language is not the only thing you need to survive or get used to a new culture. So I think when I first arrived in Melbourne, the very first thing shocked me was, the architectures and everything. Like, at the time, Shanghai was quite developed already with all the like tall buildings, like the Pudong and the Bund and everything. Like we are still always a very big international city. So when I first hit Melbourne, I thought it's a very, very countryside place. It probably still is, but like it's a very big difference. And
Yeah.
so that's just the city difference. And then it's definitely about the people and culture. So as we all know, Australia is a very big immigration country. So you just meet all sort of races of people there, like Chinese, white people, Indians, and a lot more. So there were a lot of culture shocks. But overall, I would say like I really like and enjoy Australia's culture, which is all about equality. Like people treat each really nice. Like whether you are, like color or whether you work in the office, like what your job is, it doesn't really matter. People just being super real to each other, and there's no a lot of drama. Or like we definitely not judged by your look because we all wear thongs all the time. Like whether you're a millionaire,
Gotcha.
or you're just like, cleaning the toilet. We all wear the same, maybe Target clothes or stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know in America we have like athleisure and like the yoga pants, sweatpants. I
Hmm.
I imagine that's a similar vibe in Australia. So I want to first zoom out because I think the audience they don't know who you are yet. So
Mhm.
before we dive into your background, your childhood, etc., can you give like a one sentence blurb of what you do now in Shanghai, the restaurant you're working at, and then I'm gonna follow up on like how you got there, and we can like start from the beginning. So what do you do now, Tina?
Yeah. So my role now is I'm the owner and I'm running a restaurant called Alinta. Alinta is a modern Australian cuisine bistro. So the meaning of Alinta is actually in Australian Aboriginal language means fire. So, I was in Melbourne, I was in Australia. So when I come back to Shanghai, I try to bring what has inspired me or what my past 10 or 15 years life is to Shanghai and to show people what a real Australian culture is.
Yeah, yeah, no, we wanted to hear that because I think that is how you and Matt met, right? When Matt visited your restaurant in Shanghai and liked
Yeah.
it so much that he's like, Susan, I think we found our next podcast guest. Like, great.
Yeah.
Now,
It's a vibe.
yeah, I'm sure I'd love to visit next time. But okay, now that we know who you are, then I'll kind of go back to where Matt left off. So you moved to Australia at the age of 17 to chase after your first love, but
Yes.
that didn't end up working out well in the long run, but you ended up staying in Australia and eventually going to a culinary school. But
Mhm.
what walk us through that path? Yeah, what did you like, yeah, how did you end up in culinary school? What came out of that?
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, so I went there for of course for further study and for my first love. But at the time, my parents also wanted me to get a PR, the permanent resident at
Hmm.
Australia. So like I think I was like 20 years ago, it was kind of easy if you choose the right career. Like at the time, Australia is more of the like chef, hairdresser, nurses,
Okay.
accountant. I think out of all those, I choose to learn culinary, like to be a chef or just at least to learn what cooking was or
Mm.
hospitality. I mean, I wasn't sure that I'm gonna do this for my entire life for the future career at the time, but it was simply just a mindset that I can at least feed myself well. So I
Hmm.
went to the culinary school first, and it was 2 years course. One first year was actually in the kitchen, so I learned all the Western cuisine of cooking, and the second year was actually about hospitality management. So you learn all the paper things around like how to run hotels, how to do restaurants and stuff like that. And also after I graduated from the culinary school, I actually went to Monash University for further study, which I learned marketing and economics. So,
Mm.
but along the way, as all most of the overseas students, I was doing my part time at restaurants at the time. Uh,
Okay.
I was quite lucky that I worked in all those like fine dining or chef hats restaurants in Australia because we don't have Michelin system. We do
Mm.
chef hats. So which
Interesting.
probably yeah, so we're like if it's three chef hats, it's probably equals to three Michelin stars.
Okay.
So I worked in two chef hats and one chef hat restaurants. So I
Hmm.
think that's where I started my restaurant or like F&B career because I
Got
really
it.
trained well. I think I really appreciate the way that my manager or the noble or the restaurants I used to work, how they train the staff.
Yeah.
I keep telling my staff now, like, the super expensive sake or the wine they have right now. I mean, I tell my friends and customers. I was able to try them when I was 18 or 19.
Yeah.
The system believes that, you cannot tell your customers what a good food or what a good wine is until you try it
Mm.
yourself.
That
You
makes
need to
sense.
develop your own taste and how you feel about it. And that's what
Right.
makes a good person. Yeah. Um,
Awesome.
yeah, so that's how I started. And along the way, also Melbourne has so much good food, like cuisines from everywhere. So
Hmm.
for all the years, I think I really, really enjoy food and beverage business, and I also love good food. So I think
Yeah.
that's how I end up with doing this industry.
Gotcha. Awesome. So yeah, I remember you telling me, I guess in the past that before you started culinary school, you actually hadn't really cooked at all. Was that right?
Yeah. I mean, as most of the single child,
Mm-hmm.
probably, especially in Shanghai, and probably as a girl, I don't know if I should say that, but we don't really
Yeah.
to do a lot of housework back then at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I never really, I remember because my mom actually runs restaurants when I was young. She had a
Oh,
few
okay.
franchises. So she was quite busy. My dad was actually working for the government. So he's like a policeman. So
Mm.
he had more time. So when I was young, I think my dad do most of the cooking
Oh,
and
okay.
like how
Yeah.
people
Same in my family, actually.
Same
Chinese guys.
here, yeah.
My
Okay.
dad's much better,
Yeah,
but my
everyone says
mom's gotten a lot better.
yeah, because most people say Chinese guys do the cooking and stuff at home.
Okay.
That was
I
true
think
in my home. Yeah, in my
I think
family.
dads put more MSG. They like
Yeah.
don't care. They want the flavor.
Oh, my mom puts more MSG for sure.
Oh, okay.
My dad don't allow any MSG at home, so
Okay.
get more
Healthy,
healthier.
healthy. So like, yeah, that's pretty crazy to me. Like that you kind of took this year and then you learned, you kind of upped your craft in cooking from 0 to 1. Um, because I just started cooking recently, having moved to a new apartment in Shanghai. The previous place that I lived in Beijing, we just had like a electric stove, and it's just seemed like a little bit harder to use. So I would always just order delivery like a lazy
Mhm.
boy. But now, I'm starting to experiment with learning how to cook from scratch. And I have to say it's easier than I expected, but also harder to execute than I thought at the same time. And so I guess for you that first year, like kind of acquiring these skills for the first time, did it kind of just click for you from the beginning? Um, or was it also kind of hard to kind of get into that?
To be honest, I think it was kind of my thing. I think it clicked really quickly.
Okay,
Um,
great.
for me, I mean, I see cooking as a sort of art. As an artist, I think there are all sorts of artists in the world. There are like crazy ones. They're like really like very gentle, very delicate. So I'm the one
Hmm.
that very freestyle. Like
Okay.
I'm pretty things. So as far as I remember, I always got highest score at presentation. You know how you're
Hmm.
eating the dishes. So I always got very high scores on presentation. And with the cooking itself, I think I'm the one that who doesn't really follow the cookbooks that much.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm more freestyle. Like that's why a lot of people when they ask me, oh, what were you doing? I say, oh, I'm a chef. Most people will respond first like, oh, are you a pastry chef? Probably they
Mm,
assume that as a girl, they probably do more
Mhm.
pastries, desserts, and
mm.
Yeah.
I'm like, the least I can do is being a pastry chef because
Yeah, that's
pastry
a weird
is
stereotype.
is all about following the cookbook, the recipes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You not
Mhm.
put 5 extra grams of butter because the texture could be totally different.
Yeah.
Mm,
But that's definitely not for me. I just have to. I always try to do new sauces, to mix different stuff and just to try different combinations. And sometimes,
yeah.
or most of them actually works for me. So
Yeah.
I'm proud to say I'm quite great with doing all the sauces. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
The
that is
edamame at Alinta, the special sauce on the edamame,
you like it?
so good. Yeah. And our friends are like addicted. They couldn't stop.
She actually started to sell these for takeaways.
Yeah, you
Okay.
could sell them
Not
in
surprised.
bottles if you're so good with sauces. Like, I'm sure people would just like, I
That
always
was
get some and bring it back to the States if I
For
could.
at
sure.
the
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's cool. And that's very cool to hear. I think like the people who enjoy baking versus cooking tend to have kind of distinct personalities. I do like both, but I think like, yeah, definitely baking you get away with a lot less, whereas cooking you can just like freestyle and do
yeah.
whatever. And I think your emphasis on the display, like how you always make things very pretty, that definitely helps in China, huh? When like people really love taking photos of their food and
Mm,
the
Yes.
whole presentation.
the
Yeah.
visual
That's
aspect.
really cool. Yeah. So I guess then continuing along your journey. So after culinary school, you did some marketing work after Monash. And so what was this time period like in kind of in between like your time after culinary school in Australia, and what made you decide to go back to China?
Yeah. So actually, before I decided I want to come back to China for at least like years, I only come back to China once a year for holiday, just to stay for like 2 weeks or something to hang out with my family, my friends, and stuff. So I remember that was about like 2012 to 2014. So that was, I think, the most vivid time in China or in Shanghai. Like everyone is talking about entrepreneurship. Everyone is like trying to build up something their own. And the economy was good. People are very positive about future. So I came
Mm.
back and I talked to my friends, and I can feel like this guy is telling me, oh, I'm trying to do this own business. I'm going to do my startup. Another friend is telling me, I want to like, I got a new partner, going to leave the company right now. We're going to create something new. So I think that's something that inspired me at the time, because I love Australia. Don't get me wrong, but I think Australian life is really routine. It's simple.
Mm.
The way we live it, we will say, oh, we're very late, we're very chill. But on the other hand, it's just very boring compared to China.
Mm.
So I think I always knew I want to create something my own. When I was little, I always tried to do business, even like small business. I can share a story with you.
Yeah.
And I think when I was in grade 3, which is about like 9 years old or something. Yeah, around that. So there was a summer vacation. My parents both go to work. So most of the time I stayed at home, and my family was quite well off when I was little. So
Hmm.
I got these like video games. In Chinese, we call it 小霸王学习机. So so not many family have it at the start, I think. So I was quite lucky that I think my parents got me one when it's just released. So in the summer, I play it, right? So and then I wrote a note say
Hmm.
come to play for an hour to
Wow.
earn online. All right. So I stick this on the front door of my home, and I go to the neighborhood and ask the kids that play with me, say, I spray the water. I got this machine. I got these video games. And, like if anyone wants to play this, they just come.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, so it's a small neighborhood, but we do have a lot of kids, and
Hmm.
surprisingly, everyone's coming. So I have to actually register everyone and put them in time slot. And so it was like actually made extra pocket money. And then I made
Hmm.
a lot of friends in that summer. Everyone see me as the queen that who can control the video games,
Wow.
you
Your
know.
first business.
My very first business actually. And also again I was pretty appreciative that my parents knew it. I thought they're gonna shout at me, like they're gonna, why did you do this, blah blah blah. But actually
Hmm.
they were quite surprised, but they're very, very supportive. My dad was like,
Yeah.
wow, you're going to be a very good businessman when you
Yeah,
grow up. Like you have this mentality when you are so young. So I
for
think
sure.
ever since then to now, I really always think about how to make money or how to like
Hmm.
make different business models and stuff. So
Got
yeah,
it.
coming back to where I decided to come back to China, I thought, all my friends are doing something great. Why would I waste my life in Australia? I got my
Mm.
time I actually immigrated already, so I changed my passport. So
Hmm.
I feel like nothing to lose. If I don't like China life, because I've been away for so long, for like 10 to 11 years, if I don't like it, I can always go back. But if I love it, I would just stay here. So I decided to come back to Shanghai, because at the time my parents live in Shanghai. They didn't know it was a long time decision for me. They thought it's just another holiday for a few weeks. So
Hmm.
I secretly sold everything in Australia, like the car, the rent. I finished the rent. I sold everything. So I just came back. And then after I stayed here for like two weeks, they're like, oh, when are you going back? I'm like, I'm not going back.
Mm.
What do you mean you're not
Surprise.
going? Yeah, I surprised them. So what do you mean you're not going back? I'm like, I'm not going back. So after I moved back, I stayed at home for 3 months and then moved out since then. Yeah.
Mm.
So that was the entrepreneurship, the passion for that at the time was the
Yeah.
reason I came back to Shanghai. And also, I don't really had a plan before I came back. I don't know exactly what I'll do, but I
Mm.
think at the time there's a seed in my mind that I probably want to do something related to food because that's where my passion and
Yeah.
where I was like very familiar and good at. Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely resonates with me. Like graduating from college in 2018, I also didn't really have a plan for what I would do after moving to China for my first job, but I definitely felt like things were changing here and there was a ton of opportunity. And so I just kind of like pushed myself here first. And then I just thought like, oh, I'll figure it out later. And yeah, things turned out for the better. So I think for sure, like that kind of enterprising, pioneering spirit, the ability to accept the unknown and take those risks definitely pays off for a lot of people, right? Who are looking for something a little bit outside of their comfort zones, right? So another point I just kind of wanted to circle back on when you were working at those like fine dining establishments in Australia,
Mhm.
between going to school or during going to school, like what was your experience like in those environments? Because there are more and more kind of shows and media nowadays kind of trying to pick up on that high anxiety, kind of fast paced environment in those fine dining restaurant establishments, and then turn that into the source of the drama for a lot of interesting
Mm.
storylines, like The Bear. I don't know
The
if you've
bear.
seen.
I thought you were going to say that.
Yeah, The Bear, and also a lot of other interesting movies. So, like, was your experience kind of consistent with some of those mainstream representations, or were you able to work in with relatively chill people?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'd like to say all the everything in the bear is real. Like
Oh
all the
man. Okay.
things, all the stress, and everything. It could be even worse in reality, but it's all
Okay.
real. And I remember like months, month back, like when I was quite stressed with my own restaurant, my work and stuff. So my friend was like, Tina, the new episode is out. You should check it out. I was like, yeah, sure. And then it just got me more emo and stressed. Like,
Oh
yeah, like
yeah.
I'm stressed in my real life, and then it got me more
Like
desperate. Like
you
when I watched.
feel you feel the characters like very
Yeah.
deeply, probably.
Yeah, but I mean, like, this is just how the industry is. So I think everyone who really deep love the industry actually have a love and hate relationship with the F&B industry.
Mm,
Just how it is. It's a people business. But again, you have to really deliver a lot. Like you have like you do have a high standard. You have to follow all the SOPs, and then
hmm
the customers are all different, right? You serve the same thing, but customers are different. So you have to serve them the different way. You have to communicate different ways. And then you have your co-workers in the kitchen, you have your head chefs. The chefs
hmm
can be in very various styles. There are chefs are very
mm,
gentle, not
mm.
much, but some of them. But some chefs are just really, shouting out and like Gordon Ramsay, like he's crazy, but that's real. This
Yeah.
just how the kitchen stress is like because
Mm,
in there you know how customers when they order a dish, I know that in customers perspective they would never think that way, but when the staff just order a dish and when the kitchen got the docket, okay, one steak, medium rare, go,
mhm,
right? Or after that, people or the chefs or the cooks just have to prepare your food. One person maybe have to take out the steak from the sous vide. The
mm,
next people probably have to put down the pan and to sear it for like 3 minutes. And then the head chef or the one who's running the kitchen have to check maybe every 3 minutes how the steak go, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, there are other 20 customers' dishes are waiting. So
mm. Yeah.
I always tell my staff if a good kitchen staff or anyone who doing well in food and beverage business, they can do anything because the multitasking skill is
Mhm.
excellent. And the way they manage in time, the way they manage stress, I think it's
Yeah.
just brilliant. It's just more than what people can see. Like F&B seems very easy, but the philosophy behind it is a lot of efforts and a lot of
Mhm.
expertise. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And especially, in these fine dining establishments, you said like they don't have Michelin stars, but they have like chef hats.
hmm
There's probably a lot of pressure to maintain those, right? And a lot of that comes from the customer satisfaction. But it seems like in that kind of chaotic environment, like a few small mistakes or mishaps could
Yeah.
actually pile up very quickly into something disastrous if you don't solve it. And you know that would be awful, I suppose, for the reputation and the experience of the
hmm
customers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after now, kind of zooming forward a little bit, after moving to Shanghai,
hmm
what was kind of the first project that you were able to do that kind of connected food and your passion for business?
Yeah. So actually, after I just came back, I did a few different things. I have been an English tutor.
Okay,
As
cool.
as have all
And
of us.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely went to a few interviews for just, any normal jobs,
Yeah.
but that just didn't happen or work for me. So there was a chance, I think after a month I got back. I've got some friend who introduced me to other friends. And then they brought me to a very new platform at the time. It's called 我有饭.
Mm-hmm.
It's something like full version of Airbnb. So they will invite different hosts that actually do different dinner or lunch menus on the platform,
Mm.
and you can just click, and then you can go to their place. Most of them, the time was at their home, and
Mm-hmm.
not like studios or restaurants. So you just can. It's like you go to someone else's home for dinner,
Yeah.
but of course you pay for it with
Cool.
strangers.
Yeah.
So
Cool concept.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I was brought to I was brought to the very first dinner they ever hosted on the platform. I remember there were two girls and they cooked some like fusion food and stuff. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I love the concept, but honestly, I didn't enjoy the food that much. I
Mm-hmm.
was so I probably have a bit more higher expectations. Anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, I think the concept and the idea was brilliant. Because my friend know my background, she was like, "Why don't you try to be one of the hosts?" So I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, I can be one of the hosts." So that's how I get started in Shanghai with the food business. So
Mm.
quickly become quite popular on the platform with my background. So what I did at the time was I've created a 9-course menu, which is
Wow.
my plate for the 9 course. So the 9 course is all about Australian Wagyu beef. So each course will involve a different parts of the beef, different cuts. It could be like the sirloin steak or the back, yeah, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So and also each of them come with a different cooking method. Probably the first is a beef tartare, so it's a raw beef, and the second probably is something else. So also I made a PPT like PowerPoint to introduce all the different cuts of the beef. And, when I serve when I serve one dish, they will see this slide. This is about this dish, right? So you see a cow and this
Mm-hmm.
is the beef coming from. Things like that.
Yeah.
I think it went pretty viral at the time because I was quite creative. No one actually did that kind of style, eating with
Yeah.
PPT.
Yeah.
And
PowerPoint
eating
skills.
yeah, purple skill. So I was quite popular at the time. So every time I post my dinner, it will like be out in 5 seconds because not many slots.
Wow.
Yeah, I can only
Wow.
host to 8 people.
That's like Zhao concert tickets.
Yeah. So and also I think I did have a bit of the strategy because at the time I think most of the price per person was about 100 to 20 per person at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, by the other hosts. But my dinner, I think, was about 450 per person. It was quite expensive, to be honest, like 10 years ago.
Mm. Yeah.
But the reason behind that is first, of course, is because of all the ingredients I use are pretty pricey. The second is I see this platform not just for food, it's definitely a social connection places.
Right.
So with that price range, some of my best friends now are the friends that actually came to my dinner at the time when I was doing
Okay.
dinings. Yeah. So a lot of them were like CEOs of their own companies. A lot lot of them were doing their own startup at the time, but now it's like huge companies. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And some of them are like investors. Some of them are probably working in the F&B business already. So I made a lot of like quite quality friends.
That's crazy. That's like a triple win.
Yeah, for my
Yeah,
table.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I think you did mention that the people who know food already will probably be more likely to go to your dinners, given that
Yeah.
they're more interesting, they're at a higher price point, so you do probably
Yeah.
get a lot of really good connections from these opportunities.
Yeah. So, and I really appreciate that because I got a lot of like opportunities I will probably never have when I was in Melbourne or in Australia. Because, there was one time there was a celebrity chef. He came to my dinner.
Mm.
I don't really know him at the time because I only came back to China like a few months, right?
Who
But
was it?
I'm not sure. His name is Brian.
Okay.
Brian, I think he's a pastry chef, and I think he's now doing a lot of shows and different events and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, so Brian came to my dinner, and then after dinner, he just talked to me very casually, like, Tina, do you want to be on TV show? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, I'm this food show. This is about like two chefs competing with each other while cooking for actors or celebrities and stuff. I was like, oh yeah,
Like
sure,
Food
why not?
Network.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So the next thing I know is I was on the show,
Mm.
and the show hosts, uh, are the ones that I was watching their shows when I was a teenager in Shanghai. So,
Okay.
Wow.
and a lot of like the guests, the celebrities or the actors are also the ones I watched their shows or watched their TV series when I was young. So I wouldn't
It's a
call it a,
shock.
yeah, yeah, I wouldn't call it a dream come true because I never had this dream that I would come back one day and then be on. But there's really something like amazing. Like one day I was in Australia just being a normal person, went to a normal job, and then the next
Yeah.
time I know I was be able on the show and my parents or my friends can watch me on the TV.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
it was crazy. Yeah, I love it. The show was very, like I said, the show was actually pretty stressed because we do have to cook real food in real time.
Oh
So
no.
the cabinet. So cooking part is about two chefs. So the guests, the show guests, like celebrities, we will have probably 4 to 6 chefs on the show, and we're talking and chatting, right? So there's a fridge in the show,
Mm.
and there are
Hmm.
ingredients. So they pick the ingredients for the chefs, and
Oh, it's
then we
like
have
Chopped.
yes, yeah, it's a PK. It's like two chefs PK with each other.
Okay.
Mhm.
15 and everything's real. There's no like NG, there's no like, retake. Everything's one take. So if
I
you
see.
you fail yourself or if you humiliate yourself, then you humiliate yourself on the show. They were just
Okay.
you will see it on TV. It's really stressful. So
It's good for the 节目效果 for the show, I guess.
in 15 minutes, they have a countdown like a clock. So in
Oh, okay.
15 minutes, both of the chefs have to finish a dish from the start. And not just you cooking. Meanwhile, the hosts and actors will actually come to talk to you. So again, it's a
Wait,
multi thing. It's a multi
Mm,
that's so
like
that
yeah,
distracting.
that's
right.
that
You
yeah.
you have to keep cooking and then they just constantly disturb you. Oh, what are you doing right now? Why are you cooking this? Why are you doing this? Blah, 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 why? Like, shut the fuck. Like, let me just cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, because I did it too many times. Now, like, I mean, later it becomes very easy for me. But at the start, it's just a disaster, like super, super nervous.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, but it was quite fun. And then later I went to other shows or like food competitions and stuff. So yeah.
Wow, that's definitely quite the adventure. So how many years were you had you already been back in Shanghai when you were on the show? Like how
Just
long
half
had
a
you already been? Just half a year you were in China
Oh,
and you were
wow.
already on a celebrity cooking show.
yeah,
That-
exactly. So sometimes I tell my friends, how we always say there's a New York dream. I feel like there's a Shanghai dream. Like you if you can, I always feel like if you can do it in Shanghai, you can do it in everywhere else too. And it was crazy because when I came back to Shanghai in half a year, not just I was on the show, there were actually some magazines interviews as well. You
Hmm.
know, what is being as a private dining celebrity host, what is being like a TV show, chefs and stuff. And I was invited to a lot of events. Back then, 10 years ago, there's no TikTok, right? There's no 小红书. But
Right.
then there were also very first live stream. So 10 years ago, I was doing live stream like cooking shows or like show people how to cook and do all those food videos and stuff. Yeah. So
Wow.
at the time, my boyfriend at the time, my parents at the time, my friends at the time were all very proud of me. Like, oh, Tina's doing great. And my parents definitely proud of me. They was like, oh, I never imagined she's coming back. And then somehow later on, she becomes on all those TVs. And my parents will call all my relatives.
Yeah. It was so fast too.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't even want you to go back.
Yeah. So it was quite fun. It was quite fun.
Living the dream. So you had only been back in Shanghai for 6 months and after a decade in Australia. So what was it like being back in Shanghai after so long and actually getting swept up in all of that? Any culture shocks from initially coming back to China?
Yeah, definitely. I think the very first big difference was the environment. Now I think Shanghai is doing great, but to be honest, 10 years ago, Shanghai, Beijing, the air pollution was terrible.
Oh, the air quality. Yeah.
You never see blue skies. The air is terrible and just bad. Also, I think the people at the time wasn't that nice or maybe less, to be honest, compared to Australia. Yeah. But I think I managed to get used to it. Each year, I think it's just getting better and better. The environment and everything. I think Shanghai is just really amazing in the speed of changing.
Yeah.
Because even before I came back for good, before I come here for holiday each year, right? Even 1 year, there's a lot of changes in Shanghai. A year ago, this building was there, and then a year later, it's completely different. This just how Shanghai is.
China speed.
Yeah. I definitely feel that about that time period, like the mid to 2010s, even going back to Beijing every summer, remember a new building, a new mall. That was definitely a period of high growth for cities like
I
Beijing,
remember.
Shanghai.
Yes, and I also remember because I came back at the end of 2014, right? So that was time that Uber starting to get into China market.
Oh,
So
okay.
Didi and stuff, they're competing with each other. So the taxi fare at the time was crazily cheap. I can somewhere 4 kilometers away for 5 RMB.
Wow.
It's just a war.
Dang. Because now we're okay, 5 USD is pretty cheap. That's pretty standard. But 5 RMB for our listeners, that's 70 cents.
Yeah, you always 5, 8, 10. Yeah, if your fare was 15 RMB, that means you're actually going to somewhere really, really far at the time with all the benefits and boutique. But yeah. And also I think that was the time, Uber, because Uber is all about the private drivers, right? They drive their own cars, come out and as a driver. I think it's a very similar mentality with how I host on 我有饭 as the food Airbnbs. Actually come out not really about making money. It's really about social networking and meeting new friends and people.
Right.
Yeah. So I remember there were a lot of Benz, Mini Coopers, just a lot of fancy cars and more than that. I can't remember exactly, but I just, every time I got an Uber, it's all fancy cars and it's all young and it's people. You knew that they definitely not coming out for 5 RMB. They just come out. I don't know, meet girls or meet new friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Trying to date.
That's a different vibe. That's a little alarming for an Uber driver. I would not be comfortable, but that's really interesting. I didn't know that happened.
So kind of you did the food related shows for a bit, and then so did you decide to stop going on those shows, or did they stop renewing them, or how did you kind of get out of show business, I guess?
I wouldn't say I'm completely out of show business right now, because if there were some shows that I think suits me, I would still go on and off. Not as much as used to be. But like I said, I always knew I wanted to do business. So being a celebrity is definitely not my number one mission. because
Right.
I know I don't sound like, but I'm actually very shy. So
Hmm.
I don't really want to be famous.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think I'm
No
more like,
privacy.
yeah, no privacy. I definitely value privacy, and I definitely want to build up something my own.
Hmm.
So besides show, the previous years I also did 2 or 3 startups with my partners on food.
Mm.
Yeah. So I had a healthy food brand called Lemon Awake
Hmm.
in 2015 also. And I also met a partner on my private dining dinner. So he started a business first, and 3 months later he came to my dinner, and then we knew each other. He invited me to do the business with him together
Okay.
as the product manager. So I in charge of all the R&Ds and a lot of marketing and stuff.
Mm.
So the highlight of the business was I was the first one that made the sous vide chicken, the packaging, packaging sous vide
Hmm.
breast in China. Probably to see I'm the first one. Yeah. And now you can see this selling all over the 7-Elevens or, Family Marts and stuff. Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
like the whole like the 健身, like the gym
Yeah.
bro, like yeah, like my packaged
Quick
chicken
protein.
breast? Yeah, definitely
Thank you
gotten
for
that
that. Thank
before.
you.
Yeah.
Without you, I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
We
like, I don't want to cook actual chicken. Let me grab
Yeah.
this and I can chop it up and just put it in things too.
It always tastes decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like packaged
Nothing
chicken.
weird tasting.
Yeah. So, and it was fun because at the very first start, like you said, we are 100% aiming at big gym people only, like only the people who actually go work out. But
Yeah.
then with the marketing has spread, we actually realized the feedbacks, not just the people who go to the gym or work out a lot will buy the chicken breast, or we did beef as well, or those protein products. Also,
Hmm.
the very busy working moms or the very
Yeah,
busy working people, they also would buy it for kids.
exactly.
Yeah, so that was the time I know we should not only focusing on the gym people, but to make it a more mass product for the mass customer base.
For sure. And people are really busy, lunch break sometimes. You only have like 15 minutes. You have to
Yeah,
go to your next meeting. But yeah, everybody goes for it now, and not just the chicken breast, but you go to any convenience store, they have all types of sealed meats there
yeah.
for everyone to choose
Sealed,
from.
not meats.
Yeah, and not meats too. Yeah. Well, you never know, but tastes okay. So that's cool. So kind of between doing your food startups and then starting Alinta last year,
Hmm. Yeah.
what else kind of occurred during this gap in between
Yeah,
these years?
so I did 2 different food brands, and also in between, I actually went to American consulting firm.
Okay.
That was actually a pretty big life change at the time, because before all I know was on the shows, cookings, food always. But then I
Mm-hmm.
think there was a turning point that, as far as I remember, was like I was quite stressed about all those shows and my own events, pop-ups and stuff, because I don't like to copy others. So I will always try
Mm,
to stay creative, but to constantly to be creative on
that's a
many
lot of
this
pressure
constantly like try to
making the transition into like corporate life, right?
So, I mean, like, there was a lot of stress coming with all those compliments when I work in the food industry, all the shows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to stay creative rather than copy others. That's just me. But
Yeah.
being creative all the time, to design new menus or to always stay very happy, very energetic in front of the
Yeah.
camera, I think that put a lot of pressures on me.
Yeah. Strain, a
So
lot of
yeah,
strain.
so there was a time I think probably I want to do something else. I want to change the environment for a little bit. So again, I think I was pretty lucky. I found a job in a American consulting firm, and that
Mm-hmm.
was actually a very good company. We had
Mm.
like 15 different offices in the world. So we're doing
Pretty
data
big.
analysis. Yeah, we're doing data analysis for big companies to track their marketing ROIs.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds so boring just by saying it. Anyway, I worked for the company for a year and a half or almost
Okay.
2 years. And I was actually doing BD. So my title is pretty high. It's VP, so Vice President of Business Development.
Mm,
And all
mhm.
the clients that I'm dealing with are really good world-class companies like Nike or McDonald's and stuff like that. So I mean, I've definitely learned a lot during my consulting firm experience.
Your
Like,
your
yeah, my
short career in consulting.
career. But like I said, I think it's just not for me. I could tell it's just not for me.
Mhm.
First is we have to take orders from the head office, which is New York. So I think our CEO involved a lot in the
Mhm.
local business, which means what we can do here is less. Like we have to follow whatever
Right. The big
office
direction.
asks. Yeah, so we don't really get to do a lot of our own actions.
Mhm.
And that's definitely not me because, I'm freestyle. I don't like to follow orders.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Like, I don't wanna
yeah,
take orders. Who are you?
Uh, no, 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 not being like I'm not rebel, like I don't take orders. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
she,
There's no room for your creativity, right?
Mm.
my big boss is actually a lady, but she only been to
Okay.
China for like probably once. So she
Okay.
doesn't really know, I don't think she knows the local market that well.
Mhm.
So all the procedures, all the ways they do is straightly the States ways, how they do business in America. They just try to
Yeah.
copy thing here, which it definitely doesn't work. Because China business market is very, very complex. It just involves so much parties. It's just a lot of not
Yep.
honestly purely business involves a lot of politics.
For
The
sure.
clients' politics, the inner house problems. It's just complicated. Yeah. But anyway, so I definitely learned a lot in the company. My pay was pretty well.
Mhm.
I was happy with the pay.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
happy with my title because it's pretty high end. I don't know. At the time, I got so much what's it called, LinkedIn. Oh yeah, I got so many
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. It's like all crazy title people, like C levels from this, from that. I was like, who are you
Yeah.
people? But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's a completely different life from my food business life or food life.
Right.
Yeah, it was fun, but I well, also because of the COVID, so I get laid off anyway. The second round,
Oh,
so
okay.
I think it's three laid off. The company has three layoffs, so I get laid off the second round. Yeah, so you felt a release actually, even though I lost the job, but you felt a release because I know deep inside I don't really enjoy the work.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I take a break after that. And once the gate opens, at the time we cannot go travel because the whole COVID years I was in Shanghai. So after that, my parents actually asked me to go back to Australia. They were like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I've been in China actually long enough. You experienced a lot already. You
Mhm.
should, just get a family and, you should like married, have a family and just live like normal life in Melbourne, something like that." And
Yeah.
it's cool, like, cause I was single at the time. Parents just assume that you change a place, you automatically get married. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
how
yeah,
that,
yeah.
but they just think if you're going back, you can get married, you can get kids, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Asian parents they have interesting expectations. Like when you're young, they're like,
The
"No dating.
timeline.
No
Yeah.
Yeah, the
dating." And then when you're
timeline
older,
crunch.
you're like, "Get married." But you said no
Kids
dating.
immediately, like
Yeah. Yeah.
grandchildren.
Crazy. I mean, at the time, I think I was agreeing with them, maybe I should move back for a little bit.
Mhm.
So I remember I went back um in like March or May something. I can't remember exactly. But it was I was going back for a month because I was trying to plan for move back for good at the end of the year. So I think I
Mhm.
stayed there for a month. The first week was really, really great. I was like, oh yeah, this is where I belong. Like people is nice, environment's nice. No one's too hurry. Everything like
No
not just
shoes, right?
yeah, no,
No
not
one
much
to
no jet. Everyone is very late.
Yeah.
I love it. And then you catch up with your old colleagues, your uni friends, your family.
Mhm.
And okay, the second week was all right too. Like I try a lot of new places, different new food, travel a little bit. But then the third week, starting to routine your first week's life.
Yeah, it's like,
So
oh, it's the same exact
with
schedule.
Australia, yeah,
Mhm.
after 4 weeks, I stay for a month. After 4 weeks, I come back and I tell my parents. I was there with my parents, but like I came back, I decide I'm not going back yet.
Mm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, I want to try a little bit more in Shanghai. So
Yeah.
they were, but what you want to do, like the economy has actually already been declining. It's not easy
Right.
for me, if I want to find another job that compares to my salary like before. It was
Yeah.
pretty hard. Or do you want to do your food business again or something like that? So I thought about it. And then it come to me like, I always wanted to open a restaurant, even when I just
Mm.
came. It just
Mm-hmm.
never timing wasn't right. I don't have the right partner. I don't know what exactly I want to do. But I think now is the time. Like if I knew that this gonna be my last chance to, or at least to me, it was the last chance I want to try in Shanghai. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
I just do whatever I want to do at the start. So that's how Alinta happened. I was like,
Got
I just, if I want to open a restaurant, just open a restaurant. And if I don't know what kind of cuisine or what exactly I want to do, I just do what I'm more familiar with, the fusion food from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
just, yeah.
Yeah. So tell
Mhm.
us more about Alinta then. Yeah, you mentioned that the name means fire in the indigenous Australian language. From when you first decided you wanted to start a restaurant to Alinta becoming like a brick and mortar store, like what happened then? What went into the planning, the starting, the finding the right partners, and then start actually opening the restaurant?
Yeah, I'm the bigger shareholder of the restaurant, but I found a partner which is actually a 10 years old friend. So I knew him. I knew my
Mm.
partner since I came back to Shanghai, and he's always been in the food business. So he got his own restaurant. He got a few his own restaurants. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm so close with him. I know him very well. So when I thought about I want to open a restaurant, he's actually the first one came to my mind that I want to partner
Mm-hmm.
with. So I think he can teach me a lot in the whole process. And I know him well enough that I assume that we wouldn't have too many arguments or stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it happened really quickly. Like we clicked 'cause before we got a chance to partner something together, it didn't happen. But Alinta it happens. So yeah, so I got my partner and we just decided to do the restaurant. But to be honest, I was actually talking about this with my other friends yesterday. How Alinta happened is like a dream or like a deja vu. Like
Mm-hmm.
as to the date the restaurant was built, like all the decoration was finished. I don't even know what I'm gonna put on the menu yet.
Oh.
I had a concept, but I don't know the exact dishes. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
long. It's like one step. Like yesterday, I don't know what's going on tomorrow. But 2 weeks later, I got a menu.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like something is pushing you forward, but you don't really have any exact plans at the time. It's just like a dream. Looking back, because we've now opened for a year and a half, more than a year and a half. But looking back, I was like, I don't know how did that happen.
That's
Like this,
interesting.
or-
You
yeah,
were
I
like
did,
inspired and
yeah,
possessed by some spirit of cooking.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely a lot of hard works. It's definitely a lot of conflicts. There were a lot of I don't know, crying, stress, everything. It's a
Mm.
mix of a lot of emotions, but it just happened. And like to the audience or to other people, it's just another restaurant. It's a small restaurant. It's not that big. It's about 95 square meters. So it's not huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's boutique. And it's because Matt has been there. It's like I mean it's cozy, but yeah, it's not like we took too much effort on it. It's not like everything is like we don't really spend a lot of money on decorations or design because we designed the whole place ourselves to save
Yeah.
money. We don't have no all the designing fee I paid was it was 10,000 RMB for just a
Okay.
C guy to do the floor plan. That's it. So
Okay.
all we do with the construction team was like we find so many pictures on Pinterest, on Instagram,
Okay.
on little read a book, like all sorts of interior designs. Look, I was like, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this color. So we try to save money. We don't really have any design, but I think it turned out right, man?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
So yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it was quite fun. And later on, I think Alinta means more than just a bistro brand. We actually designed our own IP, which is a Corolla. My
Hmm.
design, I designed a Corolla, which is really cute.
He's on my laptop right now. I put all the
Oh, really?
stickers
Oh
on my
yeah, yeah.
laptop.
Uh,
It's
Made
very
a
cute.
all right,
much.
I gotta see some of these stickers next time.
So we made some merchandising around the IP, like the mug with the Corolla look, like the stickers, the 扇子 fan, mini fan.
Fans, yeah.
Fans, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have some of those too.
And
Does
we
he
got
have a
it.
name or her?
Yes, Tata, the later.
Tata. Oh, Alinta.
Cute,
I see.
cute.
And
Cute.
also, when we actually put Tata, actually the 第四声
Oh,
Ta
Tata.
Tata, yeah. And the Ta in
Okay.
Chinese is actually the 踏浪的那个踏.
Okay, okay.
The reason why is
Cute.
yeah, practical the design. We've designed the Corolla in surfing, right? You see
Hmm.
that, right?
Yeah.
So it's
And
like we try to build this Tata's character, this Corolla's character into Aussie spirit. Like maybe
Gotcha.
at virtual, wearing sunglasses, surfing, tent, like dress very casually. Like yeah, like so we try to build him after an Aussie spirit, like what represents
Mm,
the Australian culture. Yeah, so it's Tata, like he's very like energetic. He loves
hmm.
outdoor activities. He just loves chilling on the beach, drinks, all the stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Can koalas drink?
wow.
I'm just kidding.
They can okay, man. Yeah. No, that's super cute. And just on the topic of like, I guess like the 周边 the 文创, like
Yeah.
the swag for your restaurant and how your restaurant is like like gaining some fame on like the Chinese social media and stuff. I wanted to share about the time when your first love walked in because he read about
Yeah.
your restaurant on the Red Note.
Yeah, I mean, like, because I definitely post something on the little red note, right? So about my restaurants, I own restaurant stuff like that. So it's a bit like movie scene. So one night, working in my restaurant at the bar, I was like busy a little bit with my stuff. This one guy wearing glasses, he walked in and he just walked away to the bar. I look at him like for 3 seconds. Whoa, that's the guy I went to Australia with. That's a
Hmm.
yeah,
The start
Australia.
of everything.
Yeah, but like because I don't really have any social media contacts with him. I'm pretty sure we stopped talking or we don't contact each other for more than 10 years.
10
So
years. Wow.
I think more than 10 years or around. Yeah.
Oh
He
man.
didn't change that much, so so I can tell that's him. But again, I wasn't that sure because it's just changed a little bit. But so I was like, oh, are you say? And he was
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, I'm like how do you know this place? He's like, oh, I came back to Shanghai for holiday and somehow got, like when I scored the feed, I saw you open a restaurant. So I'm thinking I probably
Mm.
check. I'm like, bullshit, he definitely like stalked me for so long. It's definitely like you just came back to Shanghai, then you knew it. But anyway, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, I open a restaurant. So and then he ordered a glass of wine. So he sit outdoor because we got an outdoor area.
Yeah.
And so I was making drinks for other clients. So I finished the drink. I go out and chat with him for about 15 minutes because we're getting busy really quickly. So I couldn't
Hmm.
chat. But, I was like, oh, were you still living in Australia? I said, yeah, yeah, yeah. So we talked a little bit about life, but
Mm.
it feels kind of weird. Like if you think back, he's probably the least person I would expect to see in my restaurants. I
Yeah.
have expected to see Jackson Wang came in one day, but I never thought my first love will came in one day. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So he was like, oh, I think you are doing great. And he knew that I was in food business or I was love food. So it's, oh, congratulations, one day you actually opened your own restaurant, things like that. And yeah, I also asked him, what are you doing lately, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
But it was funny that at the end, because he has to go to somewhere else, he just came in for say hi. And
Uh-huh.
I was getting busy really quickly. So there was one moment because he came to the bar to the checkout to pay for the bill, right?
Hmm.
My staff was there too, so I thought that was a bit awkward. But
Mm.
I had this like struggle in my mind. Should I maybe say, should we like exchange WeChat? Because we don't have each other's WeChat. He
Yeah.
didn't mention it. He didn't mention it, and I
Mhm.
didn't mention it. So it's like he's out. And then he's just walked out of my life. So he walked in my life after 10 years or something
Yeah.
for 15 minutes. And then 15 minutes later, he walked out of my life. And then it just,
Yeah, yeah.
so it's just really
It's like
weird.
a movie.
It's like maybe I tell my friends about it. They was, oh, what's going on? Like, do you guys like, just heating up against something? No, there's nothing else. It's just, that's it. Like, yeah. He divorced,
It's
by the way. I only knew that with that conversations. He divorced
uh
with his, I'm like, oh, okay. I never get married, but if you divorce, we are even like, we're on the same
yeah.
people. But yeah, that's just a funny story that happened in my restaurant.
It's kind of like a very unexpected, like full circle moment, I guess, because
Yeah.
you I guess in the beginning you went to Australia because of him,
Yeah.
but then that began such a long journey, so many skills acquired, knowledge, background, experiences, and then bringing all the way to Alinta, where, from what I understand, you're also kind of trying to bring parts of the Australian culture and the lifestyle and the attitude to Shanghai, kind of bridging the two parts of your experience through food and through F&B. So that's really cool. And yeah, on this same note, like I'm kind of also interested in learning a little bit about kind of like how you see maybe the role of your restaurant or maybe like food and F&B in general in terms of like being a cultural bridge or being able to kind of connect the two sides of yourself. Like is that something that you kind of think about a bit?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think food business is actually people business. It's really about connecting people.
Hmm.
Only thing you connect people with really delicious food and cook food.
Yeah, if it's bad, that's the
Yeah.
worst.
I think because when I used to work in Australia, I think any floor staff or like any service people or kitchen staff with their customers, they actually build long-term relationships. We have a lot of loyalty customers.
Hmm.
Once they go to your restaurant, they love the service, they love the environment, they love the vibe. They will always coming back. And most likely they're always coming back ordering the same food.
Yeah.
Come back often, it's really easy for us to remember. Oh, let's say Jessica. Jessica loves to start with a glass of sparkling and then
Hmm.
maybe order something light. And then after maybe half an hour later, she will order a glass of bread to go on with her red meat, something like that. And maybe
Mm.
her coffee with 1 spoon of sugar and 1 sip of milk. Like, it's very detailing. Like you can
Yeah, that's very specific.
remember all your regular customers, like their habits, what they like, what they don't like, and they can chat a little bit about their life. That's most customers that I used to encounter with in Australia. While I think in Shanghai, I mean Shanghai just got too many restaurants, people got too many choices, and
Right.
also I think the time frame is different. So I think customers nowadays are really I don't know if I could put it this way, but I think customers these days have no loyalty at all. Today they can like uh, I mean like dine in your restaurant and next day they want to try something else.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
yeah, just how it is right now. I mean, in me, Alinta, I also got a large number of expats customers or people
Hmm.
from Australia, from States, or like ABCs and stuff. But I can still tell the difference. Like a lot of Aussie customers or a lot of like foreign customers, they always came me back, and they always coming
Mm.
back with the same food they want, the same like drinking habits and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
when I serve customers like that, it reminds me of the old days when I work in Australia. It's very homey or family
Yeah, like a community.
vibe. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like people are very nice. We chat a little bit. Yeah. So I think that's one big difference between the clients. It's just the culture and habits.
Hmm.
I think secondly is I think customers in Shanghai or in China, they more value like what Susan mentioned. Yes, it's the dish is very
Yeah.
Photogenic. Yeah.
Something novel to post, right?
it's
And,
Mhm.
So for
Impress your
those,
friends.
yeah, so actually I did a lot of changes for the clientele in China. The menu design, because Matt has been here, he knows what our menu looks like.
Yeah, it's very
I
I
have
haven't seen something like that anywhere else, I'd
Yeah,
say.
I have upgraded my menu layout for 4 times since I opened in year and a half time. The very first menu was just very Melbourne look. It's very simple. It's just a white paper, white
Mhm.
texture paper with just Chinese and English titles, like what
Yeah.
dishes. That's it. Very simple. But then I realized, I think people here, first of all, I think most Chinese people love to see the pictures of the dishes. They
Yeah,
want
for sure.
to know what they're getting before they get it. And then secondly, if you just mention a very simple, the name of the dish, or even you put some like the most ingredients written on, but they still will ask a lot of questions. So the second version I did still with no picture, but I put more like graphic designs on the whole
Mhm.
menu. It's a A4 size menu paper look. So after that I find our sales figure have increased by 5%. The
Wow.
overall spending has been increased. And then later on, I just decided I need to put pictures of all the dishes. And
Mhm.
I'm say with all the dishes we post, like all the pictures, even now every dishes we serve look exactly the same as the picture we take. So
Mm.
we have pretty high standard of presentation SOP to make that happen. Anyway, so now the menu layout is like different cards. So we put
Yeah.
different like 明信片 style. I don't know how to say it, but I think man knows.
Like a collection, kinda like
Yeah.
a my first thought is
Uh,
like it's like a collection of Pokemon cards, but
Hey.
every card is
Okay.
like, some interesting dish or drink,
Yeah.
Okay. I'll need
and
to
the
see some
names I
photos. I'll
could
need to
see.
look this up after.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can share later. I can share later. Yeah, but also the reason why I'm doing it, I think it's pretty smart. Yeah, I just call myself smart, but I think it's pretty smart because it's really easy for me to change every single dish. I don't need to reprint the whole.
Yeah.
If I just change one
That's a
dish,
great point.
I can just grab that little card out and I put a new
Yeah.
dish in. That's it. So yeah. But I mean, the whole menu itself was involved a lot of handcraft work. But that's
Mhm.
one thing. After that, it becomes really easy. Yeah. So I mean,
Mhm.
after we changing that menu, customers love it. Every time I hear customers coming and say, "Oh my God, this menu is so different. This menu is so cute." They take
Yeah.
pictures. I'm pretty happy. And also the average spending have increased significantly. At the very
Mhm.
first, I think our average spending was about 200 per person,
Okay.
the data, and now it's 300 per person. So for 100 difference, it's actually quite big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think the menu changing thing is pretty success. Yeah. I mean, you just have to adapt to your customers to the culture right now.
Mhm.
So I think we did a lot of adaptations, like things like we designed our own glasses, our own menu, our own like we use whiskey bottles to make the new lamp, and customers
Mhm.
love
Yeah.
they all and the wine
And the
list,
posters, right,
yeah, and the
on the
posters,
walls.
yeah. So those are the things that for me that we don't really spend extra money, but then
Mm.
customers are willing to take photos themselves. So they're more likely they will post on social medias for us. So it becomes a free word of mouth to, promote our restaurant instead of me spending a
Mhm.
lot of money on marketing and promotions and stuff.
Yeah.
Organic.
All right. Next time I'm in Shanghai, definitely hitting y'all up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I love like the creative concepts. I too like I enjoy using like soju bottles as like flower vases, like wine
Mhm.
bottles. I just save it all, like put stuff in it. It's definitely a nice aesthetic. Yeah. So I guess just like kind of like wrapping up just your journey here, like what has been like the biggest takeaway so far of your just like your adventures from culinary school to Australia to China all the way to Alinta? Like what's been that takeaway there? Any advice for people coming along?
Yeah, mm, I think I would describe myself as a rational optimistic.
Mm.
So always look the brighter side of the future. And sometimes, or most of the times, I don't know what future it is. But I think
Yeah.
the attitude is really important. If if you think about something, if it's constantly on your mind, I think you should just do it. Whether it's move to a
For
new
sure.
place or whether it's changing career, whether you just want to take a break or you want something new or you want to do something out of your mind. I think if it's constantly on your mind, you should just do it. You will never regret it.
Preach.
Yes, like Alinta is being, I mean, honestly, to be very, very honest, Alinta has been the most challenging thing I've ever did in my life so
Yeah.
far. Too challenging because it's it's actually the very first time I be my own boss. Like I mean, I did a lot of startups, right? I do have entrepreneurship. I do have startup experience, but all of those past experience I was doing with someone else. I'm not the, the key person. I'm not a final decision maker. I'm
Mm.
just a co-partner, a co-founder. With Alinta, it's 100%. Even I have partners, but it's actually 100% my own business. Like I have
Mm-hmm.
to make all the single decisions myself, and I'm also responsible for all the single decisions. And it's been very stressful, a lot of challenging, a lot of people problems, it's just a lot. But I keep telling my friends that's also one thing I've never ever regret in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know. Honestly, I don't know where Alinta are going to because, to be honest, the environment right now is very competitive. It's not great. The sales figures has been dropped a lot recently. I mean, maybe just not me, but it's the whole industry.
Makes
Overall,
sense.
but overall, I think it's a very great adventure that I've done in my life because it's
Mm-hmm.
something 100% my own. I think because I'm not being a mom or I'm not married, I don't have a kid, but I think to have the ownership of something that's 100% yours, I think is very
Yeah.
important for anyone's life. I think if there's any advice I would give, I think anyone should have something that's 100% yours, like
Mm-hmm.
ownership of a small business or, even just a hobby, but you can 100% own it. You 100% enjoy it. You can have the flow while you're doing it. I think it's worth it. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And so when you think about the future, however you'd like to kind of define that near future or next 10, 20 years even, what would you say are some of the aspects that kind of go into your vision or your dream for the future? Like where do you want to go from here?
I think as challenging as it is, I still love food and beverage business very well. So I
Mm-hmm.
do hope in the next 5 years time, at least, I'm building a bigger business.
Mm-hmm.
We have a few different restaurants or different concepts of the business, but I wouldn't set a very specific goal at the moment because I think it could be
Mm-hmm.
anything. I don't know, maybe one day become a celebrity food show chef again. I don't know. Like it just
Yeah.
can't be anything. It could be, I have more restaurants, or it could be I have like a corporate with different line of restaurants, cafes, bars, and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I think instead of mention how many restaurants or the exact numbers I want to have, I would say I just want to excel in the food and business more. I want to be
Mm-hmm.
more expert in the industry. And
Yeah.
I'm still learning. I'm still reflecting a lot. I'm still a baby, I think, in this industry. I think
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
but I think I'm a fast learner. I can do better. And in the future, I hope I can help more people who's passionate about this industry, whether I will help them build their own brand or give them a job. I don't know. If I just feel like
Mm-hmm.
I can more to help others. With myself, I think coming back to China is one of the greatest decision I've ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Going to Australia is also one of the greatest decisions I've made. So I think I'm pretty lucky that I have these two country or two places I could live. Like, I can always go back to Australia. I can always stay in China. I can always go somewhere else. So I think it's the mentality I've built up that I can do anything if I really want to do. And there should be no limitations. And if you
Mm-hmm.
think bright side, I think great things always coming along. But if you think all the bad things, then bad energy will follow. So it's a bit
Yeah.
superstitious. But I think that's how
The
I think.
law of attraction. I
Yeah,
guess.
law of
That's a
attraction, exactly. Yes. So always try to look the bright side of the life, and I think just living no regrets. That's all.
Great advice.
Thank you.
All right. So now, it's just wrapping up our conversation then. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. I mean, this was fascinating. I'm also a foodie, so I love just hearing about your like your creativity with this and how you got to where you are. And yeah, I'll definitely be hitting you all up when I'm in Shanghai next time.
Yeah, sure, sure.
for
So
sure.
a little thing we like to have our guests do at the end of the session is to give a recommendation, but to pick your own category and give your recommendation in that category. And Matt and I will have to match you on the spot. Yeah. So Tina, you guys gave you some time for this. So what is your category and what is your recommendation?
I think I would pick a category of lifestyle wear. I want to recommend a clothing brand, if it's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I just have to recommend my absolute favorite active wear brand from the past maybe half a year. The
Mm-hmm.
name of the brand is called Particle Fever. It's
Oh,
a
interesting.
Yeah, it's a Chinese brand. So it's like Lululemon. You can imagine it's a Chinese version of Lululemon, but there's no
Mm-hmm.
see. They do their own design, their own philosophy, and their own very good materials.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that their clothing is the best I have ever wore so far. I
Wow. Okay.
I
Wow,
That's
think
that's
great.
a big compliment.
I've basically bought like over 15 pieces in 3 months time. So I think that's a lot. I
Wow.
don't
Okay.
Dang.
even go to gym or yoga that much right now. I just love to buy in the clothes.
Oh
It's
man.
like sportswear and leggings and stuff. I think ever since I started with this brand, I don't wear my Lululemon anymore and I don't check any of those. So that's
Wow. Wow. What
it's
how do you
good
say it again? Can you
particle
repeat the name?
fever.
Part
Particle
particle fever?
particle particle fever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird
Particle fever.
it's a
Wow.
weird
Okay,
uh,
I'm gonna look this up. You're
like
giving them
you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I've recommended to so many of my friends. They got a guys wear as well. So Matt, you can check it
Okay.
out.
Can you get this? Can you get this
Nice.
in the US or is it a Taobao thing?
They have their own website, but they're definitely on Taobao and they do have a lot of physical. So I just want to express a bit more because I think particle fever is another very vivid example of if you're doing your products right, your
Mm.
customers will just spread the word for you. You don't. They did nothing to me. They didn't like seeding me anything. I was seeding by Lululemon, by Nike and stuff. I love them, but I don't really buy them anymore. But Particle
Yeah.
Fever has nothing to me. Like they don't give me one single discount. But because I just think their design, their service is really good, so I keep buying them, and then it keeps giving me surprises. So now I
Mm-hmm.
just recommend to everyone.
So now what is your recommendation, Matt? I'm still thinking. I apparel
So I'm
lifestyle
the
thing.
kind of guy who will like buy a bunch of clothes on Uniqlo,
Oh,
and
me
then
too.
sometimes I'll splurge a little bit for Lululemon, and then I'll just wear it for like a really long time until until you cannot wear it anymore. So I don't shop that much, but something that I do, I think, make purchases more frequently are for shoes. And one of the reasons for that is because my feet are completely flat. Like I have zero arch. It's like a plank of wood.
Wow.
And yeah, so as a result, I can't really like I can't just like go to a store and like pick out a pair of shoes that I think look cool because it might be totally like, destructive for my knees and my feet. And so I have to be quite particular with kind of the quality and the build of the shoes that I wear. And so recently I've been getting into a brand that's very popular, I think, in China. It's called Salomon. Salomon?
Oh yeah,
Salomon?
they're very
Yeah.
professional on the
So
sportswear. Yeah.
yeah, they have a lot of shoes models that are friendly to people like me, and I appreciate it. Pretty lightweight, good support, and I'm someone who likes to walk around a lot, sometimes without a destination. I just like walking, and, listening to something or observing my surroundings. So, I walk maybe like 15 to 20,000 steps every day, and these shoes, they're pretty good. They don't wear that easily, and yeah, If anyone listening to this also has extremely flat feet, go check out
Yeah.
Salomon. You won't be disappointed. That's
Right.
my take.
Yeah, I think I have flat feet too. I should take a look. My feet have been hurting, but yeah, I'm definitely a Uniqlo person. I think in China I got like 80% of my clothes in Uniqlo.
It's so
Like
cheap.
especially the heat tech. Like I would just, and then when I lived in Shenzhen, I lived near so many malls and they all had Uniqlo. So whenever I was like just walking around, I would just like, okay, what's in Uniqlo today? What's on sale today?
Yeah, same. I actually sometimes when I go on like business trips, I won't like pack many clothes, and then I'll just go to like Uniqlo and pick up some clothes if I need them. And so
Yeah.
it's like
It's
so cheap,
reliable.
convenient.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't want my rec to be a Uniqlo, even though it's great. So I don't have like a lifestyle brand or apparel that I really swear by per se. But let's see. I recently switched running shoes because I'm like trying to train for the half now that I'm back in Cambridge. So I'm running a lot more
Nice.
and yeah, so I switched from I usually wear Nikes. I switched to Brooks, which like were recommended by some people. And yeah, I think they've been working well so far. Good for long mileages. The arches of my feet don't hurt as much. So yeah, Brooks running shoes, pretty
Cool. I've
solid.
never heard of it.
I've never heard of it either, but then I was just
Your
like, what are
favorite
some good
runner's favorite
alternatives?
running shoe, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so far so good. We'll see how they hold up.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Liminal Space, where we navigate the thresholds of culture, identity, and experience. If our conversation resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, or share your own story with us. We'd love to hear what you've discovered in the spaces in between. And join us next time as we continue to explore what it means to live in the liminal. See ya!
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye!